How do you guard your homeschool hours and protect your family from overcommitting to schoolwork to make sure that it actually gets done? Like right now, how many hours would you say you are schooling and that you make sure that gets done, that you're not like answering the phone or going grocery shopping, making appointments, maybe having practice? How are you guarding those hours?
Okay, so for us, it's non-negotiable. Like I said, Monday through Friday, we have a set time. Like we don't follow it to a T, but let's just say from morning to about 2 p.m., non-negotiable.
Mm.
So schooling will get done typically around 11 to about 1 p.m. I like to leave that open. It does take them only about an hour to an hour and a half, typically, but those hours are non negotiable. Like, and I understand that sometimes people might have maybe like family members that may not take your homeschooling as seriously. Overall, there is only one person like that in my family, and I would just recommend guarding that school time specifically for your child. Do what you need to do to guard that time. That time is important. So, what I tended to do for that one person is say, hey, so I work from home up to about 2 p.m. Monday through Friday. So, prior to 2 p.m., I am unavailable. And I mean, technically, homeschooling is the most important job, and it is a job from home. But I guess for some people, they just need to hear it that way.
Hmm.
Do whatever you need to do to make sure that that homeschooling time is dedicated to your child and that is priority.
Yes.
As far as extracurriculars, I mean, like I said, just you can add something maybe towards the evening, start with one thing. If your child seems to be craving more social interaction and you see that they are doing well, then go ahead and add another one. I mean, kids vary in personalities. So you have your extroverts that need more socialization and your introverts where one thing is just enough. So, yeah.
So true. Caitlin or Stacy, would you guys like to comment on that last question? How do you guard your homeschool? How do you make sure it gets protected?
Oh, it's a struggle. You know, there are so many things that vie for our attention, whether it be, oh, I need to reach out to this person or that person. And so to take off more of that mom guilt, we recently had a message shared at our church with that said to stop saying the word should and to replace that with the word could instead of I should make sure we get to history today, like which that's our struggle. That's the one that's always the sad subject in the corner that gets forgotten about. I don't know about the rest of you, but I say to myself, I could get to history today and what needs to happen so that could happen. And I'm trying to rephrase that for my kids as well. Well, if you do this, you could have time for that. My kids are a little older now, and I do um, give them a lot of responsibility with their own subjects and managing, well, which one do you want to start with today? We're a little more loose on some of that, but we just have time frames between this time and this time. This is the time. This is the precious time to get our stuff done. And mom's working, but mom's here and I'm available for you. But that time I have to take my high schooler to a class every day. That's a ticking down to a real limit that we have. And then once he's there and I get back home, we have a little bit of time before I have to go get him and come back. And those have made life hard. And so I miss the days where I just had the whole day. Back then, I hated having the whole day. I'm like, what are we going to do? Oh my goodness, it's only 10 in the morning. Everything. What are we going to do now? I miss those days. Now I'm like, if I could have a whole day, I could, I could bake with my kids. And I dream of the things that I miss doing with them when we had time on our side. So we're in the season of battling the schedule of not just my husband and I and our things, but now getting into those teen years, more responsibilities there. Not quite having a driver yet. I'm excited for that day. I think that's going to be a game changer to have another driver in the home. But Really, it's like making an appointment with yourself and honoring it. If you were going to make an appointment with another mom to go have coffee, you would honor it and you'd be on time. Well, make that for yourself. Set that on your schedule. You are worth putting yourself and your homeschool and your kids on the schedule and honor it just like you would honor anything else. And the delivery guy will show up. A salesperson will show up. Something's going to happen. Someone's going to break a cup.
Mhm.
You've got to clean up all the glass. Like there's going to be all those things. But let's not plan our schedule based on what could happen that's a negative. Let's plan our schedule based on what could happen as a positive and help our kids see how it could be. You could get your schoolwork done. Dream with me, buddy. You could get your schoolwork done by 11:30 or 12. You could have the whole rest of your day. Imagine that. He does not choose to do that. He chooses to lay around and whatever. But I'm like, you could do that. And so trying to give them responsibility and help them see the way that it could be, but also having to be the tough guy and say, well, you didn't do those things. And now that you didn't get that done, that doesn't mean that your choice equals you don't have to do it. Guess what? I did all the things I needed to do today, and I'm done with dinner and whatever. It's 6 o'clock at night. Go get your history, buddy. You're not getting out of it that quickly. And enough times of that, they'll say, oh, I wish I would have used my time differently. And then there are other days where I'm like, it's okay. That's why we homeschool. We're just not going to do history today. Sorry, history. We still love you. But, so there's that balance, I guess, to all of it, to not beat yourself up for not having stuck with your schedule perfectly. Enjoy the freedom and flexibility that it gives. But if we go one way, one direction too far with the rigidity, or one way too far with the flexibility and the loosey goosey stuff, that's where I think we can get into a feeling of, feeling behind or guilt or feeling like we're in trouble. So I don't have a perfect answer, but we're just doing our best is basically my answer. And if that helps anybody who's also trying to juggle multiple kids at different stages and life's interruptions, if that sounds normal to you, then just know that we're doing that together and you're not alone in that. And we're still going. And I think that's the main thing is learning every single day. No 2 days are the same. No 2 weeks are the same. So we just take it as it comes and do our very best with it. And very thankful for Saturdays. The few ones that we have had to do school, they are there if we need them. And my husband, I'm like, guess what you get to do when you get home? I've got this little person waiting for you, and they have a book in their hand. Welcome home. Thanks for being here. And I'm out, So I don't know if that makes any sense, but we're trying. The Morris family is trying.
I love that. And there's some great tips going on in the comments too. So I hope you guys are getting to see them. We're going to have a practical advice and tips round here in a minute as we close. But before we do, I wanted to ask Laura and Stacy, what does consistency look like in the younger stages? Like, how do you keep on going on days that you don't want to be consistent? So how do you make sure that that consistency happens, since that seems to be the key of the fruit that we want? School's getting done, chores are getting done, the things are running. What do you guys have to say?
You want me to go first? So for me, I try to look at it as sticking to a routine, making sure that we do our subjects in order, what we need to do in the home. But I also like to look at it and as far as like a week, because with littles, you never know what you're going to get. It's hard. It is hard, and it has amazing blessings. But there's going to be so many days, like last year was one of those years where more days I felt like I was failing than I wasn't, because I wasn't doing everything that needed to be. But when I broke it down for a week, I was able to complete what I needed and stay consistent. So my best advice is going to be stay consistent, If mornings work for you, do everything you can in the morning. If something happens that throws a wrench in it, or if something comes up where you just can't, then know that, okay, well, I still have this week. I still have tomorrow to make up for that. I still have Saturdays. Typically at my home, we don't homeschool on Sundays. We do take that day to be with each other and honor the Lord. But we do have Saturdays, and sometimes we have 2 different weeks on Saturdays to make up. But sticking to a schedule, doing the same subjects in order, and saying, okay, let's go ahead and get this done. And my kids, even though they're young, they all know that you have to get school done before you touch your monster trucks, before you touch your Legos, before you go play with your Barbie car. And that's a really good motivator for them to stay consistent. And then they actually all really enjoy school until math comes for Maximus. But the rest of them love everything. And then for Maximus, I actually do his most difficult subject last. He gets all the fun out of the way, and then he knows once he gets to that subject, this is it for him, and then he's done. And so for us, just knowing that we can adjust if needed, we do it for a week, but sticking to what you can do. Don't worry about the house getting cleaned, and worry about what you're set to do now, and then do one thing at a time. Don't be overwhelmed, because overwhelm will completely throw wrenches in things if you allow it to take root and bear bad fruit.
Laura?
So I'm gonna say a lot similar to Stacy, because we do our subjects in the same pattern every day. We have a routine. It may not be the exact same time, like Stacy said as well, but my son knows what to expect each day. We actually do the reverse. We start off with, you could say, his more challenging subject first when he's alert, and then we work progressively to the easiest subject to conclude. We tend to leave science last just because of all the fun little experiments sometimes. But as far as other motivators, snacks, I do recommend them
Me
for
too.
myself and for my son. And I do similar to Stacy again. For us, it is not so much toys; it is video games. So video games after schooling, after things that need to be done are done. That's what we do.
Awesome. And what about when you have a day where you're just like, oh, I don't want to do this. Like, I don't want to show up for my job today. What do you do?
I just push through, honestly. I may take a moment, like I said, get something, a hot chocolate or something that I personally like, take a moment to breathe, and just go for it.
Yeah, it can be helpful to just get in there and do one thing that makes you feel better immediately. Whether for you, if you're a dishes girl and you need your dishes all the way done and your countertops clear so you can remove that visual clutter, if that's going to help you practically, maybe get that done. Or say, hey guys, mom's not feeling it today. What can you do on your own? How can you simplify? Or what can we outsource today? Those times are normal and good as well, and you're no less a wonderful mom just because you don't feel like homeschooling today. We all have those days, but at the same time, pushing through, like Laura said, is also really helpful because it models to our kids that, do you think daddy really wanted to go to work today? He didn't really like want to, but he went, and he goes every day. And daddy misses being here. He wants to be here. This is where he wants to be. But he goes to work faithfully to provide for our family. And mommy is going to be faithful to do what we need to do here. And you need to be faithful to do what you need to do, kids, in your chores and your schoolwork. Now let's do it. Like Randy said in this one live, he said, cry loud, cry soft. Now go and do it. And that is such a good reminder to tell whether it's a child or yourself as a grown up, get in there, just do it. But it is okay to lighten the load a little bit and take that flexibility and take that day to do half of the work or whatever it is. But those days will come, and that's totally okay. But I love how you encouraged everybody, Laura, to just get in there and do it. That's also very helpful and very true for just life.
Yeah, because I mean, even if it's something you enjoy, I know we sometimes something that we ourselves enjoy. There are just some days where you just have to do it. It happens.
That's right. I love when Randy says you get what you lead and you teach what you tolerate. So if we continue to lead our, like, I don't want to say completely lead ourselves, because like if we're led by the Lord and we lead well, then that's the fruit we're also going to see in our kids. And the whole you teach what you tolerate, that pierces my heart so much. It's also like the military uses that a lot too. So like whatever you allow someone to do, then you're teaching them that that's okay, that that's what you're going to tolerate. And so we have to be very wise and discerning as moms in this stage of these foundational years. I would say for, across the board, but in these foundational years, like what are we teaching that we are willing to tolerate? Because there's stuff I wish I would go back and redo in the discipline consistency area to see the better fruit now. And I mean, I have the blessing of having an older crew and a younger crew, and I've been able to learn what not to do and what to do from the older crew to the younger crew. And I thank God for that grace, because our last conversation with Laura, she told me, that's not a benefit she gets. She gets a one-time around with one kid. So I am very, very grateful for that. But I just want to give some practical tips and then have the other moms on here give some practical tips to help in that whole you get what you lead, you teach what you tolerate, because we do want to have grace and we want to yield when we need to just cry out and be at peace. Sometimes it's a season of grieving, whatever we're going through. We want to be able to deal with those things, but we also want to do things excellently. And I just want to encourage you what someone encouraged me with years ago, and that's just remember your job description. What is your job description? As a mom, as a wife, as a child of God, and as a leader in your home, in your homeschool. Like no one's going to come to your door and homeschool for you. They're not going to set up your administration side of your homeschool. They're not going to teach your kids with the same vigor, passion, and even grace that God has given for you to do. So what is your job description? Do you really need to be like sweeping the floors when you could be doing school? Do you have a kid that could be sweeping the floor, painting the house? Does that really need to happen right now, or should it happen when it's not school time? And I know that checklists and like planners help, calendars help. When you have checklists for yourself and for your kids, that really does help. Like I no longer can just be like, oh yeah, so and so is supposed to clean the bathroom on this day, and then there's constant bickering. So, or I'm like, oh wait, we're supposed to be doing this for history today and this for science. I have to like write it down now. So I have to write it down. I have to have it preset like a syllabus or something ahead of time, because I will go like off track. Especially if I have a B or C day and I'm not doing well, it's like, where did we leave off last? So the checklists and stuff like that help. Routines help, as you can heard a lot. Stacy and Laura talked a lot about that. I know some moms in here talked about loop scheduling really works for them. And then there's block scheduling. So you can block schedule like Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. This one we're going to do history and we'll do science the opposite days. Or you can do one semester of history, one semester of science. You could also do the loop scheduling where, Monday we did this subject, the next day we did, this subject, but keep your core subjects, particularly math and English, should be done daily because they're skill based. So it's a lot harder to, I would put those first because it's a lot harder to kind of go back and have to deal with those. So the more consistent you can be on those skill-based subjects, the better. The content-rich subjects, they kind of work in a cycle. So you're going to be able to catch up on history, even government and science and all that stuff a little bit better in the later years. And think about your routine. Is 4 days a week better? Is 3 weeks on, 1 week off, 6 weeks on, 1 week off, and then that week off is when you do all of your appointments, maybe a deep cleaning of your house, a decluttering of your house. I know a mom who actually, she said she had to get out of the shame of like, I hire someone to come clean my house once a month. But if she's able to do that and it's bringing blessing to her family, that was something she was able to do. Another mom's like, I splurge right now on Instacart and I have Costco deliver instead of driving 40 minutes there and back. And when you throw in a nursing baby, some toddlers, and some kids that still have to do school, that might be something that, has to happen, or, Walmart pickup or something like that. So think of creative ways that help fuel you and what you could delegate to help you be the best mom that you can be, and the best teacher that you can be, because you also have to leave room for how you're going to teach something. Y'all, I'm not looking forward to learning physics. I don't want to do physics, but I have to now. And so right now I'm going to teach myself physics again so that I can teach my two kids who refuse to not learn physics. So I thought by doing forensic science, it would be enough, but no, they want to do physics. So now I have to learn to be a good student, to be a better teacher and teaching them that. And yes, we have the academy, but I have to pretend I know what I'm talking about at some point when I have to grade their work. So there's that part of pouring in to yourself, so you can also not just yourself as a woman or a wife, but what would make me a better teacher? What subject do I need to focus on that would make me a better teacher? What would make me more patient and more confident teaching something? Because my kids could totally tell when I am not confident teaching something. And then they're just like, Mom, come on. And so I love that. And it's very humbling, but I can't fake it. So I love that they can call me out on that. And also think about in these years, what simple habits and traditions will help your home feel more peaceful and cultivate a strong family culture. So I saw that Michelle said here that she does not do a lot of extracurricular because she was commenting on what Caitlin was sharing about how that season is going to come. And next, a part of your whole new job description is how you become a guidance counselor for your child when you hit the older ages. So when you get to, and a financial advisor, more added on to your description. So clearly identify your mission statement, why you're doing what you're doing, and think about your job descriptions and what you can delegate, what you can partner with your husband on, and what you just are I'm not going to do it because these are my top priorities, or these might be my top priorities in this season. For me right now, my non-negotiable is I have a struggling reader. That struggling reader is getting my time every single day for 15 minutes at least. So whatever you have to do to make your life more simple based on the mission that is ahead of you, and your kids are the mission, and cultivating an atmosphere where their hearts and minds are trained for the Lord Jesus Christ so that his spirit can come in and do the work of salvation and bearing fruit and giving them their calling and making that all known and launching them well is important. And so I think that all plays in wanting to do our work excellently with for the Lord, but also trying to combat some of the things we talked about today. And one of the big things is not overcommitting your outside time. I have an older mom who told me once, put your whole day of the week on a whiteboard and then decide what is those immovable things that have to happen. You have to go grocery shopping, you have to go to church. Yeah. What has to happen, and then plug in and see what real outside stuff you're able to do. And if you have kids if you have many kids, you cycle through, if they're not all interested in the same thing, they're not all going to do swim team, pick one child that you're going to focus on. And then next semester, the next child gets to pick their thing.